Hey guys, it's Claire. Welcome back. It's the first Sunday in March 2021, and this is our weekly garden tour that we post every Sunday. We are in Zone 7B. We are north of Atlanta, and we are growing food for our family of 4, and we'd love to have you join us for the ride. What we're going to do this week is walk through the garden with the video, and then I'm going to talk you through what you're looking at. We'll do our weekly drone shot because we love seeing the garden change week to week, and then we're going to talk about seeds and what we're starting. So let's get to it. Y'all, I was really hoping these were going to bloom today for the video, but it looks like it's going to be next week. But spring has definitely come. And check out all these cabbage seedlings. You guys watched me start these from seed in that January video, and now we have 3 gorgeous rows. They are doing so well. Speaking of doing well, that's my blueberries. And you guys, if you were watching videos last year, know this was a real struggle for us. We really felt like the blueberries were not going to hang in there. So we've been giving them a lot of love, and it looks like it is paying off. And I love blueberries, so I'm excited. Okay, this is garlic and radishes. We like to intercrop, you know. We like to help things help each other and provide a living mulch and help with pests. And it just maximizes our space. So since we're focusing on staples this year, and garlic's a big one, that's important. But radishes are an easy thing to grow around it. And this is what one of the regular radishes looks like. I can't remember the type that this is. I think, I really can't remember. We've got daikon radish in there as well. And all of the blank spaces that you see in this bed, like right there, that's what we've harvested. That's what we've already eaten. And then I've got parsnips in the ground there. So they haven't come up yet. That's why it looks bare, but they'll be coming up as the radishes leave. And if you want a broccoli update from last week's broccoli experiment, that's one seedling. And let's find the second one. Right there. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm thinking that maybe they would be looking better than what they actually look like. And then, if you saw last week's video, there was not that much radish that I had to pull back to get to it. So the radishes have definitely grown just in 1 week. The seedlings in the tray look better than the seedlings in the dirt. I'll show you a picture at the end. These are onions, and onions are definitely a staple for us, and they store well. So this was kind of a no-brainer when we were planning out the garden. We got these in the ground last fall, and I think they're looking really, really good. If you're growing onions, remember that you want to keep the soil loose around the base. So just kind of loosen that soil up. That'll help them bulb up. And also remember that every one of those green stalks represents a layer of your onion. So you want as many green stalks as you can possibly have. That's some Butter Crunch lettuce that I planted in between the onions. Lettuce and onions really like to grow together. And it makes, again, the maximum use of my space. That is a carrot. Volunteer from last year, you guys. And that's just some more lettuce. I think the red lettuces are really pretty. And they look nice in a salad bowl. Check out my cabbage. Now this is a much, much bigger cabbage, obviously. And yes, we do like cabbage. Look at how green that is. It's winter, you guys, and look at how much greenery we have in our garden. This is some more of the younger cabbages that we planted up, but these big ones were in the ground in the fall. And I'm so glad we took the time to do that, because these Swiss chards and kales and cabbages and Brussels sprouts that you're looking at right now, we didn't start in January. These were started in the fall, and then we left them in the ground to overwinter. And there's my Brussels that, you know, I'm so obsessed about. Gosh, I really love Brussels sprouts. Look at those things growing. They're just coming right along. So I've got about 6 more Brussels sprout seedlings that I want to go ahead and get in the ground too. Get that taken care of. And then these are the end of the parsnips. We've been harvesting and eating parsnips, and if you have never had a parsnip before, you're really missing out. You need to go get you some because they are so good. And this is the broccoli. That's a little broccoli. This is a bigger broccoli. And again, all of these bigger broccolis were in the fall. You can look at the leaves and see they have just been ravaged by the slugs, which is why everything is covered in that beautiful powdery diatomaceous earth. I know it looks hideous, but it also looks hideous to lose your plants to the slugs. So And then I like to plant flowers in my vegetable and herb gardens. I just think beauty is important. It makes me happy. And this is the last of the winter lettuce. We planted all of these lettuce seeds last winter.
Hey guys, this is Don. I'm definitely a gadget guy, so I bought myself this drone for Christmas one year because I thought it would be fun to play with. But we've actually ended up using it a lot for the garden, and it's super helpful to give us like a bird's eye view of our property and a bird's eye view of like where stuff can go. And I'm also super excited to kind of document week to week the growth of the garden. So as spring is coming and it starts to grow, I can't wait to see what happens.
So I was going to go out and show you the broccoli from the broccoli experiment, and then also show you how I plant up some Brussels sprouts because I've got seedlings that are ready to go, but it started raining. So if it stops and I can get that stuff done and filmed and in this video, I will include it. But if not, then I'll film whenever I end up doing that and get it into next week's video, because, you know, we're posting every Sunday. And we really hope that you guys are having as much fun watching our garden grow and just watching the process as we are sharing it with you, because we're just having a blast getting to do this with you. So what I did want to do is talk about the seeds that we've already planted, the seeds that we're going to plant, and just walk through that, because this is that time of year. And especially if you're new, you may just be getting started. You may not have any seedlings already going, and that's totally fine. So let me kind of walk you through where we are. Okay, parsnips. You just saw the video. You saw that there was a row of parsnips that I said we had already harvested most of them. And then I planted some new parsnips in the radish bed. This is what we planted. These are super delicious, easy to cook. I mean, you know, I own a store, Bennett's Market and Deli in downtown Atlanta. I'm a foodie, and it just shocks me that parsnips have not had more of a food moment because they're so, so good. But they do have a long growing season. So if you think you're wanting parsnips, get them started, and they can be direct sowed. You can put them right in the soil right now. I also put the lettuce, the butter crunch lettuce, into the onion beds. So that's what hopefully we're going to get some out of there. This is like a perfect lettuce. It's perfect for salad. It's perfect for a hamburger. It's just really, really versatile. So if you've never tried lettuce before and you want to start with something, I would definitely recommend this. And then dill. I've got some dill in the seedling trays, and this is going to be interesting because I've heard dill doesn't transplant well, but I'm going to try it because why not? Last year we grew all those cucumbers, and it never occurred to us to grow dill, and we knew we wanted to make dill pickles. So that was just kind of a massive fail on our part. We were able to buy store-bought dill, but honestly, a weird thing happened last year. We had a week or two where we couldn't find it. We had to like really go searching for dill. So this year it was a priority to grow dill, and we're going to have to keep sowing this throughout the season. So there's going to be lots of dill around here. We got some Hungarian wax hot banana peppers in seedling trays. And of course, you know, these want warm soil, warm temperatures. So these will not go out until about 2 weeks after the last frost, but they are slow growers. And so you want to get a head start. So we went ahead and got these in for seedlings, and they're coming up. They're doing great. Same with the mini mixed bell peppers. Last year I direct sowed these in the ground and not a single one came up. This year I planted them in seedling trays and all of them came up. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but I'm excited about this. Everybody in my family likes bell peppers, and I think they look really beautiful. So we'll see how those do. But again, these are in seedling trays. I planted some artichokes. This is the only seed that I've planted this year that has not yet germinated. And it's possible that it just takes a really long time to germinate. I don't have any issues with that. And it's possible that it's just not going to, and I need to do another round. But I would love to grow artichokes. In fact, when I was growing up, one of my favorite appetizers my mom would make was artichokes with like a dip. And we would watch TV as a family and eat those. Okay, jalapenos. Last year we grew so many jalapenos. We still have jalapenos from last year that we froze. So they're not good to eat fresh, but they're perfectly good for stews and chilies and things like that. And we enjoyed it so much. It's amazing how much you can eat fresh jalapenos in, and they're really versatile. And then, you know, you can freeze them. We also canned them. We made some cowboy caviar, all that kind of stuff. So the freezing the jalapenos has been nice to have them. And I liked the pickled jalapenos. I think so did Dawn, a lot better than the candy caviar. I know everybody goes crazy about the sugared jalapenos, but we really liked the pickled ones. So this year we're going to be growing a ton of jalapenos and pickling and preparing those, harvesting those. I've got some eggplant. And I've got 3 eggplants that I planted, and they're all doing really well. But again, they're seedlings. They are not going out until after 2 weeks past the first frost. But we want to give them a head start. We've got long red cayenne pepper. I do not currently have a dehydrator. I would like one. But I think it would be really fun to make your own spices. And so this is one of the pepper plants that you can make and dehydrate and then ground up into your own cayenne pepper. And we like things spicy, so I think that would be a really fun thing to do. So I think I've got about 16 cayenne pepper plants. Sweet basil. Of course, you know, pesto, dried herbs. There's so many uses for basil. So we grew 4 plants last year. That was enough. We went through all of our basil that we harvested in about 6 months. So I think this year we're going to grow about 8 to 10 plants so that we can make sure we've got enough basil, not only to eat fresh, but then to preserve and last us through the year. Forgot, I have 2 kinds of parsnips. This is the hollow crown. And honestly, I don't remember which one I put out there, which kind of sucks. This is something I'm super bad at. So I don't know if I mentioned, but this year, one of the things I'm trying to do is just up my record keeping game, because it is so nice to look back in the past and see, oh, we got this many pounds of cucumbers, or I did this and that. And I don't have a strong inherent need for structure. So these types of tasks are harder for me. But this year, what I've decided to do is store things in the month that I've planted them, at least until I can sit down and just get everything documented for myself. So I'll see how that goes. But I know when you plant stuff, you have to label it immediately. And I don't always feel like doing that. So I didn't, and then I think I'm going to remember, and I don't. So lesson learned again. You can avoid my mistakes. So there's kind of parsnip as well. But like I said, parsnips are really amazing. And carrot, I planted these purple dragons, and for some reason, nobody in my family likes carrots but me, which I think sucks because they're so versatile. So I thought that maybe if we grew a really beautiful carrot, that maybe the kids would be more interested in eating it. But carrots are hard to germinate. And you saw in the garden, there's a carrot coming up from last year. So I don't really know. I planted these 2 weeks ago in the ground and nothing's happened so far, but that doesn't mean nothing will happen. They can sometimes take longer to germinate. Keep you posted. Brussels sprouts. You guys know that I am completely obsessed with my Brussels sprouts. And right now we only have 4 decent sized plants out there. And then we have 1 little one. It's just getting going. I've got 6 more seedlings of Brussels sprouts that I would like to get into the ground. And that is something all of us eat. So I could grow just tons and tons of Brussels sprouts. Okay, before we get into tomatoes, I direct sowed some milk thistle this week and some calendula. One of the things that we're doing is growing a medicine garden where we're growing herbs and flowers that are good for teas or tinctures or salves. And so those 2, they can handle these still kind of cold temperatures. So I've got those in the ground. And then I've got some wild thyme, which this actually makes a really good ground cover. If anybody needs a ground cover. And some Greek oregano. And we are down to our last bottle of oregano from last year. We grew a bunch, we dried it, and then we preserved it. And again, you know, there's just something about using the fresh stuff that it just tastes better. So we used it a lot for seasoning. And then we also made some oregano vinegar. And we just took the stalks and let them soak in vinegar. And that was actually really good, especially on a Greek salad. It was really, really good. On a cheese tray. So we'd like to do that again. Okay, are you ready to talk about tomatoes? Because we got lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. And I got all of my seedlings in about a week, 10 days ago, and they've all sprouted. So I'm hopeful if I can take care of these seedlings that we'll have a good harvest this year. Abraham Lincoln. I've never grown this, But this was a suggestion of a lot of the YouTubers that I like to watch. And so we ordered this to say, hey, you know, let's try it out. This one's called the Dresba. And I have also never grown this type, but I'm looking forward to it. Paul Robeson, also enough of the YouTubers that we like to watch talk about this tomato that we decided we would try it. Black Prince, this is one of my favorites. I love the darker colored tomatoes, the smoky flavor. I just think they're so good, so I'm very excited about this. Amish paste. Last year we used all kind of slicer tomatoes to make basically tomato sauce and paste because we had the bleach massacre where I accidentally killed all of our tomatoes. There's really a lot more water in those tomatoes and it makes the sauce making much more difficult. So I'm very intentional this year about growing paste tomatoes. I don't know about you, but I love a good fried green tomato, and I even like making a green salsa, like a salsa verde. So the green zebra is happening. And then we got some tomatillas. We've got a green tomatilla verde. And then I've got the Dr. White Cheese yellow tomatilla. And then I have another green tomato. I might be going overboard on the green tomatoes, but honestly, you have some milder flavor. And I think when it's tomato season, you're just eating tomatoes all the time. It's kind of nice to just have that variety. And then some cherry tomatoes. This is Amy's apricot mix. And then this is another suggestion I've never grown before, but these are ground cherries. And a lot of the YouTubers that we like talk about these. And they also talk about these as being very kid-friendly, which is something that I want to do because I do want to encourage my kids, even though they're older, they're teenagers, you know, learning about where your food comes from and learning how it grows and then enjoying eating it is something that's really special. And, you know, neither Dawn or I grew up with any type of vegetable gardening or herb gardening experience. I, of course, you may know I'm a huge foodie, and I have 2 deli markets downtown, and I really care about all that kind of stuff. So this is really fun to be able to see food, not just from cooking it and preparing it and serving it, but also now the growing it part. So that's what we, for February, have in seedling trays or have put in the ground. Now in January, you've already watched that video. We did a lot of the cabbages and the broccolis. And we've got a lot. You know, we're trying to grow food for a family of 4, and things that we can store, we're trying to grow a lot of and really see if we can grow enough for 1 year up here in the suburbs. So we do have potatoes in the ground. We have the cabbages in the ground. And if you were wanting to plant things like lettuce, any of the brassicas, the Brussels sprouts, the cabbage, kales, Swiss chard, any of those things, you could actually at this point, if you're depending on your zone, you should look that up. We're in zone 7B, we're north of Atlanta. You could go ahead and direct sow those into the ground and they would be absolutely fine. You won't even have to worry about, you know, seedlings and seedling trays. You're not quite ready to direct sow tomatoes and jalapenos and eggplants and those things. It's just too cold. So the colder hardy vegetables, go ahead, get some out there. And they would all grow in containers really well too if you don't have a yard or if you don't have a lot of space. So let us know in the comments what you are planting or what you've decided you want to plant. We'd love to cheer you on and root for you and keep up with you. And if you've enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. It helps YouTube match our content with other people like us and like you who would be interested in this. So it means a lot to us if you could hit the subscribe button. And we're just happy to have you here along for the ride. We're having a lot of fun. So thanks so much for watching.